going on, everyone? And I do mean everyone. It's Forgotten Circus. So, yeah, today we're going to go over. So, I guess Brie Larson is out of the MCU and probably all of Disney, anything that Disney does. And apparently, Marvel Studios is broke. So, first, I'm going to start with like Brie Larson out. I guess she was asked at an award ceremony um, about the character of Captain Marvel, the future of it, the future in MCU, and she basically said, "I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about that." Just didn't want to have nothing to do with it. On to the next question. She probably should have said, "Next question." And I don't blame Brie Larson at all. She is a cat. Now let me. I don't always agree with a lot of stuff Brie Larson says, right? But I'm not saying that she's not a talented actress because she's an Academy Award winner. I mean, how many people in the MCU have Academy Award that were in the MCU? So she already, and it seems like they tried to force feed that and use that in the MCU. And sometimes people just don't transfer over to those characters that you want. Yes, she does have the acting chops. Yes, she is an Academy Award winner. But you tried to force feed Captain Marvel to everybody. And it was a character that was like, yeah, okay, but you have all these 19,000 other characters in the same realm at the same time. And I'll get into that when I talk about Marvel Studios and what they're doing, Kevin Feige. But with Brie Larson, I'm positive she already saw the writing on the wall. Like as soon as all right, it was a little bit on the fence after Captain Marvel the movie, which wasn't bad. It's just her character needed more likability, and I don't blame Brie Larson for that. She can only act how it's wrote, and that's my disappointment in Marvel. Their writers are like getting worse, but with like Brie Larson, they're sitting there. All right, we got it. We're gonna put her in all these movies. We're gonna make her the main female focus of superheroes, and it just didn't work. And it's no knock on Brie Larson at all. I'm not knocking on her, but it just sometimes it just doesn't work. Like some actors and actresses can't fit certain roles. You know, I mean, would you ever see Daniel Day Lewis do a freaking like a straight up comedy where he's the center, he's the funny guy in the movie, he's the center? Probably not, because Daniel Day Lewis knows that he's better with epics. Big movies that have very fine tuned stories that have you more involved in blasts and flying around and all that. People are different, and I really think so. With Brie Larson though, so I know you have the fast stuff going, the Fast Furious franchise, and that's another one that needs to end. Can we Fast and Furious just stop? It's one of those just stop. All right, and that'll be another video. But just we got it. It's one of those we got it with those movies. It's done. But Brie Larson probably, and it might benefit her because I think this has put a shadow over her career because people didn't like her performance in the Captain Marvel movies, and that's unfortunate because she is a very talented actress. Like I will give her that. Granted, I don't agree with a lot of stuff, but she is very talented because that movie, The Room, you felt every that she got the Academy Award for. Was it The Room? Yeah, that she, yeah, that she got the Academy Award for. You felt her performance. Like there were times in that movie when I thought I was there, like going through it with her. So talented actress. And by the way, Brie Larson, that dress you wore to the awards was outstanding. And I see that you definitely work out a lot. And yeah, she's got it. You go, girl. That's all I'm going to say. You go, girl. Now, granted, I don't like a lot of stuff you do, but wait, am I simping on Brie Larson? No! But anyway, Let's go back to let's talk about this MCU being broke. You want to know why you're broke? Marvel Studios, and that's all Disney, so it's just another department. Because you sit there and you have 15,000. Now I'm exaggerating. You have 15,000 comic book characters you're trying to introduce every single week. Oh, we're going to bring this person in. We're going to bring that person in, and then you're spending all this money on all these pointless TV shows like what was it? Secret Invasion. It was no secret that that movie that TV show was terrible. Like I think I only got through a couple episodes and I was like, I can't do. I'm not a Scrolls guy. Like I love comics. I was never into the Scrolls, and then Super Scrolls, and yeah, it just wasn't my thing. And even Loki, I liked Loki just because I like Tom Hiddleston. So see, that's another thing too. So right there, even though it was a failure, right? You liked Tom Hiddleston as Loki. So you watched it for that. You watched it for the character. But then when you go back to Captain Marvel, you know what I mean? You're watching it. You're watching it for Brie Larson, right? But she couldn't pull off how Tom Hiddleston did. So certain it doesn't always like match up with actors and actresses in a certain role. Like they can have all the credentials, Academy Awards, but if the character is not written right and it's not likable, it just doesn't work. So even though that was kind of a success, Captain Marvel, the first one, um, made a ton of money, but it still wasn't after that. Like everybody went to see it, they were interested in it, but it just didn't work. And with Loki, I watched it. The TV show just didn't work, but Loki, Tom Hiddleston and the cast around him too, when they brought in Mobius and Mobius, and it was the acting performance that I like. It's not the show, because I know that they were only doing what they could with what they had, and like She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, stuff like that. That's where your money's going. See, you got to realize you're not really getting any new subscribers, Disney at Disney Plus, for these TV shows because it's too many failures. So what I ask you is probably to let's knock it down to like, all right, this is probably giving them a little bit too much because I think they'll mess this up. Five Super Bowl superheroes or comic book characters. Pick your five, right? Because we know you're doing your X-Men, so you got your little group. That's definitely gonna happen. You need that right now, And Deadpool's gonna help you out a lot with a lot of the stuff. Maybe, possibly. But we don't know how many hands were in the cookie jar with that one too. But just narrow it down to like five and see if you can work one movie with those fives. And, with those five superheroes or characters. And another thing too, it's funny how Mark Ruffalo says you guys have no money to make the Hulk, or the Hulk's going to be expensive and everything like that. Well, then Disney as a whole don't spend $500 million on reshoots, rewrites. Just get it right from the beginning. And you do need some lower budgets. Like I'm a guy that if it's a high budget for a movie that I want to see, keep it around two. You don't need all the extra. Where does that even go? So it's too many shows, it's too many, and you keep introducing characters, dynasties keep changing, wink wink, and now it's whatever Eternity War, so you're bringing all that in, it's too much. Like it was cool before when you were first doing it because you walked us into it. Like Iron Man has movies, Captain America had their movies, um you know Black Widow and Hawkeye really didn't have their thing, but they were always really incorporated. I mean, you still had the Spider-Mans, you did the T'Challas, the Black Panthers, but you kind of walked in, but you could see a pattern when they were starting to make a lot of money on stuff. And I don't think they really listened to what fans were saying. They were just looking at the money aspect. So that it, further in, like Thor, all the Thor. Well, not all the Thors were good, yeah, but like Thor, you were walking in, introducing the character. We need to start doing this instead of flooding. Like we got, but I am kind of biased because I do want Blade, so Blade has to come out. That's in the five. But stop doing so much. You just keep introducing characters like, oh, we're gonna have maybe Century, we're gonna have Captain Britain, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have freaking Madam Web, but we're teaming up with another production company. It's not really ours, and Spider Man's not really ours, but we're gonna use it and put our name on it because it's a Marvel character. So we're over there doing our. It's too much. It's way too much. Just get down to five. Five. Preferably, I think you should do three and see how test the water a little bit. But it seems like they're going, and I don't understand how you're broke and you made all that. So where'd all that money go? It went to paying these big name actors that have all the credentials. Like start looking at the other people that just they're up and coming because you know at once upon a time those actors that you're paying all this money to were up and coming. Yes, they prove their status, but sometimes we got to dig a little bit deeper in the well here and probably look around a little bit. You know what I mean? Just stop looking for all the big names. Look for the talent for the character. Because there could have been some guy, Billy Bob Smith, that did an audition for, uh, let's say for a big character. Let's say Iron Man, right? And then you're like, well, it is Robert Downey Jr. He does have an Academy Award, and you know we're gonna pick him just because of that. Start looking at the talent and who fits the character, and that might help you out a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how the business works, but I do know that how it works by what my eyes see on that television, and I could definitely see that this you're just picking big names to carry a product because you got a bad writer's room and you got bad leadership of that company. That's what that is. So that's all I gotta say. But tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I want everybody to subscribe and everyone to subscribe. And I do mean everyone.